Ladies and gentlemen, it's back. Episode number two of Snow Day Sports featuring your host Dalton Barrett and Max Slendon. Max, how we doing today, bud?
We're doing great. We're doing great. We got a lovely Memorial Day. Weather is nice. We'll see if we enjoy this warm weather.
Well, let's hop right into this warm weather with another hot team right now with the Minnesota Timberwolves after an absolutely, I don't even know what to call that type of performance the other night. That was insane.
Do people still use the term belt to ass? Because that's exactly what that was. That was belt to ass for 48 minutes.
Yeah. Wow. I missed a little bit of the first quarter. I was listening to it on the radio a little bit, but once I did
You
get
pretty
home,
much missed the whole game then. Game was over after the first, pretty much.
that's what I heard. And I got
Like,
home from work, and it was like I turned the TV on because they weren't saying the score on the radio, so I was confused. They were just saying, Ant's dominating. Well, I was like, well, that's nothing new. I mean, Ant's gonna be Ant type of thing. But I got home and watched the rest of it, and I was blown away. Our physicality, the way we were guarding uh, at SGA. I mean, we were hitting shots at an alarming rate for the Thunder. Like that's regular season type stuff. I mean, even Dante was hitting. He's been colder than freaking ice water right now, or in the playoffs. So yeah, I mean, I even saw Rudy Gobert freaking hit a couple of spin moves out, which he never does that. So I don't know.
that's how you know you're feeling well. It's the basket looks about 10 feet wide, and everything you shoot goes in, and that's going to be a recipe for a lot of wins. And like seeing shots going early for this team is very important. And like they thrive once those shots go in at the beginning. We saw it like the Lakers game, game one. They were like, we're going to make them beat us from the outside. And we ended up making a couple early, and the basket was about 10 feet wide for the rest of the game for those guys.
Yeah, I mean, just our constant physicality. I mean, I like Chris Finch's comment after the game to a reporter. So what'd you guys do to stop Shea? Well, why would I tell you?
No, exactly. Like, there's a secret. Not too many people have been able to do it. There's a reason he's a MVP this year, and they're going to keep the cards close to the chest for now, and got to respect it. And hopefully, they can do it again in Game Four. But the question the Timberwolves have to be asking is, how can they win this series?
You know, I'll be honest. In the beginning of that second half there, I did get a little worried. The Thunder went on a little run, and that's usually how teams kind of get back into those games is when they're down a lot, slowly climb into it, get hot in the second half. So I was a little worried once they got hot there, but Timberwolves took that timeout, and it was like, and they didn't look back. They just reinforced their will, I guess you could say, and it was almost like nothing changed after that timeout they took. And I mean, I'm not sure. I'm not a big basketball guy, so I'm not sure what we're going to need to do. I mean, besides play physical, which sometimes can be limited, especially by officials. But yeah. I mean, what do
I
you?
think I think your point too about them going on that little run after halftime is so prevalent because we saw that in games one and two. We were both very close into it. Like halftime was very close, could go either way. And in both games one and two, Thunder outscored the Timberwolves by 14 in the third quarter, and then at that point it was kind of over, and the Thunder could go into cruise control for the rest of the way. So I say we got to play like it's game three, not quarter three, and like win that quarter, like be even competitive in that quarter, because that's what's killed us games one and two in Oklahoma City. You let that crowd get into it after halftime, and it was just over there. And fortunately, they had a pretty insurmountable lead. So any little runs to start the third were pretty achievable, like allowed, and had that within that margin of room. And it's like, especially if you can stop it early with a quick timeout, it's easy, and you're going to win a lot of games that way. And unfortunately for us, the Thunder still have their home court advantage throughout the rest of the series. So we got to win one in OKC. which has been a very tough place to play. They're 35-6 at home this year, are the Thunder, so you're not going to steal too many there.
Yeah, I mean, just oof. Uh, man, I kind of lost my train of thought. I'll be honest here. Yeah, just I, like, man, you kind of took it out of my kind of took my words away from me there. I mean, OKC is a tough place to play, and we're gonna need to go in there and get one here to eventually win the series. And I mean, oof, it's gonna be tough, but shoot, just I guess the way we came out and attacked the other night was really surprising to me. I mean, we were first one. I mean, we were the first ones on the floor after a loose ball. We were constantly getting those momentum plays early in the game, which I feel like the recipe for the Timberwolves in the playoffs especially has been, all right, keep it close through three, then let our stars to kind of take over in the fourth. Well, with OKC, you can't really do that because in the third quarter, they made a lot of runs in the third quarter where they put in games away, and Timberwolves experienced that in the first two games. So they kind of understood, hey, we need to get after these guys, bring the energy. We can't wait around until the fourth quarter to put her in gear here. And so I was really impressed by the adjustment by Chris Finch and the team. And we even saw some of our bench guys like getting quality minutes against some of their better players that they were doing a really good job. They were making shots. They were playing good defense, getting rebounds. I was really impressed.
No, for sure. Terrence Shannon Jr. being that ninth guy off the bench, he came in and he was hot. He was able to score quite a few points, and that's just it's good to see those guys getting into the game and like featuring them into the rotation, like to have a little bit more depth. Maybe not playing 30 minutes off the bench, but even if they could give you a quality 5, 10 minutes, that's just so huge in a playoff series like this that is probably going to go, hopefully, if you're Minnesota, 6, 7 games.
Yeah, I saw someone tweet out the other night at the Luca Garza. I think he was 3 for 3 the other night, and somebody said, "Oh, there is a Luca playing in this round of the playoffs," and that just made me freaking laugh because then they showed Luka Doncic holding a beer or something like that, and I was like, uh,
No, it's always, I don't know, it's always good to see him watching from home, especially during these round of the playoffs. I'm still a little bitter about last year, how good he did against our Timberwolves, but he's at home now, so we get to keep watching our Timberwolves, and hopefully they can win game 4 tonight and extend the series even farther.
mm, yeah. I mean, I look at the bench shooting stats here that we have, and in game one we were 23%. Game two, a little better at 45. Game three, holy cow,
Yeah, you think there's a
63.4%.
reason we won by that so much? It was what was game 3 again?
63.4%. We won by, I think it was 40 or something.
Yeah, I wonder how that, especially like because we talked about it before the series, how important it is for especially Dante, Naz, and Alexander Walker to step up. And obviously in game 1 they didn't do that. Game 2, 46%, not too bad. But you also got to think they only took about 24 shots between the bench, so it's not like there was that high volume, and that's kind of why. But now once you're up to like 63%, I don't think they're going to do that in game 4. I mean, if they do, even more credit to them. But even if they can get to that like 46 to 50% on a little more higher volume, I think they'll be very well set for game 4 here.
Mm. And then another important stat I looked at was the Timberwolves have been known they want to shoot the three ball. We were 20 to 40 the other night.
Yeah, that's
That's
seen the well.
that's absurd.
That oh for sure, and I think that's why I think Game 4 is going to be should be a lot closer than Game 3 because like there was a great shooting variance out of the Timberwolves. They were just extremely hot, but they had a great clip of Shea mic'd up on the bench. He's like, "Yeah, they shot well, but shot ourselves early. They came out more physical than us early in the game.
Mm.
They had more. We turned it over way too early in the game, and like that's something the Timberwolves can force again. They're probably not going to shoot 50% from three again, but they
Right.
can force those early turnovers, which OKC does a really good job of not turning the ball over. They have the highest turnover margin in the NBA by quite a wide margin. And they are usually the more physical team, like Lou Dort, Alex Caruso. Those guys play physical, wear you down, and I think that's part of the reason they do really well in the third quarters is that that's about the time they wear you down and can go on these big runs and put the game out of reach early in the third.
Mhm. Yeah, then another key stat I'm looking at here is turnovers. The Thunder has 15 the other night. Timberwolves had 10, but then points off of turnovers. I mean, we had 15 points off their turnovers, and a lot of those were big momentum plays. Ant going down and getting the dunk early, and really kind of not only bringing the crowd into it, as obvi as a big dunk obviously would, but getting his teammates to believe, and momentum does a wonder in games like this.
And especially for this Timberwolves team, I feel like their shooting numbers are indicative of how the momentum is going into the game. And like they get, and even had, I think and even had two of those steal fast break, bring the house down dunks. And like that just, I think that's part of the reason the Timberwolves shot so well is that they were just like, nothing can go wrong. They're heat checks and they're still going in
Hmm. Another interesting stat here is the rebounds. Holy cow. We had 50 rebounds compared to their 31. And that isn't a
big
telltale sign that, all right, we're maybe playing a lot more physical. We're getting after them. I mean, out rebounding a team by 19. I mean,
for sure. That's sometimes where it helps to have Rudy Gobert up the middle and have him being a presence up the middle. I mean, that's also a little skewed because the Timberwolves had a lot more defensive rebound opportunities than the Thunder did on game three, but still, like you're out rebounding teams by 19, you're gonna win a lot of games. And I hope like they can still out rebound them by a good margin, and hopefully they can shoot a little bit, get on the right side of that shooting variance,
mm,
and get a little more production out of their bench. I think is what is the Timberwolves are needing to have game three translate into game four, and game four translate to the rest of the series.
mm,
And I think it will be nice to have the Target Center crowd here again tonight. I'm sure they're gonna bring the juice. Everybody's excited for Memorial Day. Hopefully they're getting off the lake, going to the Target Center.
mm. Well, I mean, Stephen A. Smith said it before the game that the energy wasn't there, and that's just Stephen A. Smith being Stephen A. Smith. I mean,
Right.
I've never really seen eye to eye with him. I'll be completely honest, because he has some of the hottest takes. I mean, I guess that's what he gets paid to do.
Mhm.
And he was going out, oh yeah, Thunder by 20 or whatever. The T-Wolves came out and I mean, crowd, I mean, from what I heard is it was just a buzz around Target Center and Target Field. And having the Twins game in the afternoon, I'm assuming maybe a lot of those fans went right from Target Field to the Target Center and brought the energy and
Yeah, who knows? I mean, it's kind of a long commute there.
mm,
Little walk right down the Skyway. Get into the arena there real quick, and it's nice to have that. And you can go the 2-for-1. Twins started earlier. Uh, Twins started at 1 o'clock. You can get a couple drinks in, head to the Target Center for a 7 o'clock game. Cheer on the boys and get them buzzed early. And there definitely was a buzz early there, and Ant certainly helped and brought the crowd into it, and that just translated throughout the entire game.
mm,
But I think it was another ESPN panelist that said, "I'm a big believer in body language," and he said the Timberwolves looked like they were breaking, and I think Game Three showed that they're not breaking. They're ready. They're ready to punch back, and they punch back in a big way.
mm. I mean, it almost got to a point in this game where I was thinking, can we save some of these shots for, you know, tonight? But
I mean, yeah, the Timberwolves played like didn't play a lot of high leverage minutes in that game, so both teams should be relatively fresh for Game Four.
right.
So it'll be both teams' best shot coming back. I'm sure the Thunder won't take this lying down. They would have loved they would love to clinch either in game five at home in front of their home fans and give them real something to cheer about, but hopefully the Timberwolves can give themselves a even series, make it a best of three coming back to Oklahoma City.
Mhm. But and I guess you got any more things kind of
No,
and
I think the Timberwolves know what they need to do to get game four, and hopefully they can get game four, game five, and even game six back at the Target Center, clinch in front of the home fans.
mm,
But I'm not going to get too greedy.
mm. And I will say, and he isn't the most consistent three-point shooter in the world, but just the way he plays with his physicality and he's almost like a slasher out there, if you get what I mean. I mean, he's like going there, he wants to get rebounds, he's always trying to get into the paint. I mean, he's not, I mean, there are far better, I mean, a few better spot up, three-point shooters in the NBA than him, but just his intensity and his physicalness on defense. I mean, that's what really kind of separated him, especially early in the last game, and that's what teams really kind of struggle with. So if he's able to bring that physicality again, tonight, I mean, that's going to be huge for the T-Wolves.
Oh, for sure. There are few better in the NBA when Ant has when he turns that switch on and has that mentality. We saw it with the Lakers series, him getting into that shoving match down the court with LeBron James. He did that again with Lou Dort in game three, and we'll see if he has that mentality for game four tonight.
Yeah, the only thing that worries about me a little bit is he gets so physical at times that he almost gets too much energy and he gets too aggressive and he'll ultimately cost, a big momentum play just because he's getting too physical or and
Yeah, I'm sure Chris Finch knows where that line is, and I'm sure he's been able to. Hopefully, you can find that line and make it a controlled fury out of Ant and let Ant be Ant, but also know where that line is and make sure he's doing what he needs to do to help the team win.
I guess there's a reason he also leads the league in technical fouls, but
Yeah,
no,
yeah, that's just passion, baby.
yeah, I agree there. So some of those texts, it's like, really?
Mhm. But yeah, I think too it helped that mentality. I think they had a much better mentality going into game three. Speaking, Ant got attacked 5 minutes into game one. Shea gets the foul. He just tosses the ball back onto Shea. Like you can't let him get into your head that early, and they're almost like worried about it. Jane McDaniels gets the flagrant towards the end of game two for shoving
Mm,
Shea, and I think you didn't see any of that in game three, and I think that was another reason the Timberwolves were able to be as successful as they were is they didn't let the mentality get to them, and they showed a lot better poise when it came to game three, and hopefully we see that poise again in game four.
mm. I mean, you could really tell that they were locked in out there. I mean, every NBA player, I guess, kind of talks to the refs in between, but you saw a lot less of that from the T-Wolves. I mean, they were all right. Let's go. Let's freaking let's create this possession, and it was fun to watch.
Oh, for sure, and hopefully that translates into game four. Maybe I'm gonna expect a little bit more of a competitive game in game four,
Yeah.
but I don't know, Dalton. You got any score predictions for game four?
Ooh, I really could see a low scoring game tonight. I feel like it's two teams that are going to look to prove a statement defensively. So, I mean, I guess this isn't super low scoring, but I'm going to go around the winning team's going to be around 105, probably doing 100, 101, 102.
And who's the winning team gonna be?
I'm going to go with the Timberwolves tonight. I just feel like they're riding and when the Timberwolves are hot, I mean, they're tough. And
Oh,
I feel like I mean when they're playing physical and defense and they're refs are letting them play with physicality. I mean, they are a very tough team to stop.
oh, definitely. I agree with you there. It's gonna be a little more low score on the low scoring side relative to the NBA. 105 in a basketball game isn't really that low scoring, but when we're talking about the NBA, it kind of is.
Mm.
I could see this being like a 110, 105 game for the Timberwolves.